So the psycho trash surveillance using psychopath strikes again. This is really unbelievable, but it's not unbelievable at all if you consider who you're dealing with and what has been going on for 10 years and what I keep describing and explaining has been going on for over 10 years. Today is Friday, February 28th, 2025. Tomorrow is March 1st, and I don't usually pull the dry cleaned and wrapped items that are hung in this closet out of the closet frequently. And it's been a couple of weeks since I tried to put something into this closet. Everything has a covering on it because of the contamination that the psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry has been smearing repeatedly all over my nice clothing and bedding and towels over the last 10 years while she's been housed in the unit behind that wall right there, and where she continues to engage in a lot of disruptive, deliberately aggressive, attention-seeking behavior that doxes her presence directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink, which is the permanently unrented vacant unit that Irizarry was verifiably and officially housed in by the Greenville Group between 2013 and 2022. They keep claiming that that unit is vacant. Last week, they said there's a new tenant in there, but there hasn't been signs of a legitimate tenant being in there at all. Nobody uses the toilet. You don't hear somebody actually using the shower. There's no signs of normal activity in the morning or even in the afternoon. It's the same psychopath that keeps accessing the area behind the wall of my kitchen sink and smacking that wall and getting aggressive and blowing all kinds of intense, sickening amounts of cigar smoke straight through that wall. Right there. It's always the thickest and most intense and sickening in that corner behind my kitchen sink. That is the bathroom of 78, where Greenville's sponsored psychopath, who's also a sex offender and who the maintenance managers and property managers have referred to several times as their surveillance expert, continues to access the premises. One of the things that this surveillance expert does for the Greenville Group is use surveillance devices in my living space to see where I keep my valuable items. And then when I'm out, or when I don't properly lock the door, or even when I lock the door and leave for the day, she gets in here and she steals things. And something is missing from this closet right now. This shoebox, I found this shoebox lying right here the other day. This shoebox disappeared from my closet like months ago, if not longer. And there were shoes in there. And then when the shoebox suddenly reappeared right here, which means that somebody had to put it there because I did not put it there, guess what was inside? Nothing. The shoes that were in here had been taken out by whoever took that shoebox months ago. And I've been reporting for over 8 years that Jasmine Irizarry, the psycho trash, hate-stalking, mentally disturbed psychopath, has a history of stealing things out of this unit, hanging onto them, vandalizing them, or messing with them, and then putting the wrappings back in very obvious places into my unit months or years sometimes after she's stolen them, but then they've been messed with and fucked up. And that's what she wants. That's a psychopath. That's a female psychopath. Male psychopaths don't tend to waste their time on things like shoes or shoe boxes or cosmetics or clothing. They tend to just rape women and then kill them. Look at Ted Bundy. Even Jeffrey Dahmer was raping men and killing them, and Son of Sam, and John Wayne Gacy was raping young men and then sticking them under his house. Male psychopaths don't tend to mess with personal care items, clothing, and shoes, but Irizarry, the female psychopath, does. So somebody stole the shoes out of the shoebox, and they stole the shoebox months ago, if not over a year ago. I mean, I noticed it missing from this closet, but then I was like, well, maybe I put it somewhere else. But then when I came home one day, somebody had put it in the very obvious location of right there, where I would have seen it had it been, had I put it there months ago and years ago. I've actually cleaned out that closet a few times in the last few weeks for inspectional services visits and housing visits. So this shoebox suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Somebody put it in a very obvious spot where I would have to see it. And then I would have to notice that the shoes that were in here are now gone. But now there's also something missing from this closet. I just can't figure out exactly what it is. But I know that this closet was previously so tightly packed, I couldn't put anything new in it. And so I've had to hang some of my coats up over there because this closet was packed. Now there's plenty of space. Look at all the space. That means that at least one set of dry cleaning was stolen out of this closet. That happened within the last 2 weeks. because again, 2 weeks ago when I was preparing this unit for a visit, I couldn't, it was so tightly packed in here, I could not fit a single jacket in that closet, and I had to hang it on the back of the door. Now there's plenty of room, which means at least one set of dry cleaning clothes were stolen out of this closet in the last 2 weeks, along with, some shoes that were stolen, but the box was very nicely returned and placed in a very obvious spot where I would immediately notice it. And I've been reporting for years that Jasmine Irizarry has been doing exactly that. She steals an item, messes with it, holds on to it for weeks or years, or sometimes I don't know how long, and then she puts it back like in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the counter, in the middle of the table, where you immediately see it as soon as you walk in and you're like, wait a second, where the hell has that been? And why is it here now? Right? So something is missing from that closet. This piece of shit like obsessively hate stalks other women because she's such a hideous reject, that she's jealous and mentally disturbed over what other women have that she doesn't have, that she refuses to provide for herself. Every single item of clothing in this closet I paid for out of my earnings. I've worked 3 jobs sometimes just to be able to afford to have certain things. So this piece of shit that is literally a walking parasite steals things from other women because she's jealous and refuses to do anything to help herself. She's a fat, stinking, obese, perverted piece of shit that refuses to behave like a functional human being. And then she just steals everything from other people, vandalizes them, smears her foul-smelling, contaminated body fluids all over people's stuff. I have several towels right here in the stack that are smeared with like a brownish liquid, and these are white towels. I've been keeping them as evidence because I would never do that to my own stuff. And the same brownish, foul-smelling liquid has shown up on some of my nicest items over the last 10 years that have either had to be thrown away or professionally cleaned, and then they still had that nasty stench all over them, and you can't wear them anymore. I don't know what kind of body fluids Irizarry is smearing all over my stuff, but it is so nasty, you cannot get that smell out. It's like a combination of dog shit and roadkill and I don't know what else. It's just disgusting, and it's brown. So I don't know, what that could be, but it's, when you're dealing with a career criminal who claims that she's getting paid to take care of problems, anything is possible and nothing is off the table in terms of what sick and twisted criminal acts of vandalism, harassment, and harm that this person will resort to. Nothing is off limits for these psychopaths.